This session is about our startups, about build project startups, as I said, who are coming from various disciplines and who had made quite some results, quite some amazing results in the past year. Through this journey, you will be guided and the session will be moderated by my colleague, Hannah Frost. Hannah had the opportunity, together with my other colleague, Laura, to work with our startups, to work with these startups from the very beginning, to follow their development from the ideation phase to up until this particular moment where they are right now. I'm very thankful to all of you for the time and energy and for willingness to join us here at the Urban Jungle. And again, without taking it any further, Hannah, I would like to invite you to the floor and to pass the moderation role to you. Once again, welcome to the Urban Jungle. It's so lovely to see you here and enjoy this session.
Thank you, Dani. And as you just said, it's really lovely to see all the faces again, people we've been working with for the past 1.5 years. And it's like quite a journey that's been. So back in spring 2020, 30 students from 3 different disciplines met from 3 different countries in Barcelona for 5 days to actually kick this journey off, bringing together the expertise from nature-based solutions, from urban design and from business, and bringing all those ideas together, all the different visions from those disciplines, and jointly trying to find solutions, business solutions for urban challenges. And it's super nice to see you here today, that you're still working on your startup ideas. And to not lose any time, I would actually like to get started by giving you the floor to shortly, in 2 minutes, introduce the 3 startups that are here with us today. It's Aerosquare, it's Care Solutions, and it's Epiclay. And yes, I would like to give the floor to you and then actually dive into the topic, like what it actually means to work in such diverse teams in different countries, and how is this a potential to really find holistic solutions and maybe even better solutions for the cities of tomorrow. So I would like to give the floor first to Aerosquare.
Great, thank you, Hannah. Just one question, is the virtual background, is it displayed right correctly? Can you read it, or is it mirrored?
We can see it, it's a bit blurry, but everything good.
Okay, never mind. I'm just getting started. All right. Thanks again, Hannah, for the introduction, and welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. My name is Patrick. I'm here together with my colleague Harsh, and we represent Aerosquare. Today, I want to start with the why, and why are we doing this? Why are we doing Aerosquare? The indoor air you and me are breathing in this very moment is polluted, even more polluted than the air in city traffic. The tricky thing about it is we can't see it. We face an invisible enemy. But how can you fight such an enemy? We thought if we can't do it ourselves, we need to find support. And that's exactly what we did. The support we found is in moss. Yes, correctly, moss, the tiny little green plant that you usually see in the forest. It is not only beautiful to look at, it is the only plant in the world which filters fine dust and heavy metals that effectively. So what do we do? We developed a fully automated moss panel. Fully automated means almost zero maintenance for our customers. That means water, light, and ventilation are adjusted to the perfect living conditions of the moss. Which started off as a build startup, is now a diverse and international team of 10 people, with architects, biologists, and business people, just like me, who are working towards the same vision. On one event during last year, we got approached by the Wiener Linien here in Vienna. This is the local subway operator, and they liked our solution quite much. And that's why we agreed to conduct a pilot project together with them in a subway station here in Vienna, just at the beginning of next year. So if you're based in Vienna or taking your next trip here, hopefully soon, make sure to look out for some moss panels while exploring this beautiful city. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Patrick. Sophia, do you want to go next from Care Solutions?
Yeah, sure. Well, Thank you, everybody, and hello, my name is Sophia, and as Patrick already explained a lot, there's a huge problem of air pollution, and we decided to choose a different way of tackling those issues, because a lot of people suffer from negative effects on the health, such as asthma and cancer and so on. So we decided to approach it from the point of view of bacteria. Apparently, we found out that there are some that are able to degrade and completely eliminate bad particles and chemicals from the air. And we're also quite a big team right now. And we decided to incorporate those bacteria in a filter and put this filter in a very aesthetically looking column to introduce some greenery inside our places. What we have been done until now, we created a prototype, we approached some customers, and we kick off the laboratory tests to actually understand more the bacterial side of our project. And what we found out that we can eliminate formaldehyde and other chemicals from a rather medium-sized room within a couple of days, which is a great efficiency compared to many other competitors, such as typical ventilation systems or air sprays. What our plans are now is to tackle different chemical compounds, also try to go into different customer segments, such as restaurants, open spaces, office spaces, hospices, and so on. And yeah, I'm very happy to be part of this panel and to tell a bit more about what we've been achieved since beginning of our journey.
Thank you, Sophia. And last but not least, also Epiclay. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Hannah. Yeah, I'm happy to be here today with my colleagues Sumit and Marif, who are part of the Epiclay team. For us, it was from the beginning on, we saw our solution at the intersection of two megatrends, one being air pollution, as has been quite extensively discussed already, the other one being urbanization. So that basically means there's a lot of pollution on a very limited space. And we try to eliminate this with enveloping buildings with green lungs, both indoors and outdoors. We developed a low maintenance and easy to install green wall system, which also requires no soil, meaning that the plants directly grow on our modules and are as well 100% circular economy compliant. We have also, as our colleagues before, seen quite some interest in our solution over the last months, and therefore are very happy that we will in the next months set up the first Epiclay green walls in Austria. But of course are very happy to take on more of those projects and get those cities greener. So hope to see a lot of green walls in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so let's get started with the discussion. But actually before that, I still want to say, I mean, being with you from the very beginning of the journey, it is really like breathtaking, honestly speaking, to see, like, to remember starting in Barcelona and remembering that you've all somehow surprisingly ended up with the same challenge to tackle. But yet today, the solutions that you found are so diverse, they are so unique, and also like so diversely to be implemented in different settings, spaces, and also solving so many different challenges. It's as I said, it's like really, really mind-blowing, even knowing you all the way along. What we actually wanted to do with this challenge, with this session, which is very short, unfortunately, so I'm going to get started right away, is talk more about the journey that we had with you, and also like this whole idea and the vision behind the Build project, which was to bring together students from different disciplines, to actually like formally separate disciplines, to merge them, to try, given the challenges we are facing, like the complexity, the interconnectedness, to start new approaches, by actually, as I said, like bridging urban design, bridging nature-based solutions, and connecting with the business perspective, to find holistic solutions. So the question here would be then, so what is it actually to work in such transdisciplinary teams? So how did you feel? Did you feel it like actually the magic cure to finding those solutions, or was it also just more like maybe sometimes an extra burden, given your diversity, the different backgrounds that you're facing. And whoever wants to start first, maybe we can go by discipline, like the business students. How did you feel? So what did you also learn from the others? How was your journey with us? Chris, you're still on my big screen, so maybe if you want to go first.
What a coincidence, of course. So for me, I mean, it was already 5 years of business high school, 3 years of business bachelor's, and 2 years of business master's. So like my circle was not that diverse. So it was very refreshing to see how fast you can actually grow and progress if not everyone thinks alike and has the same skills. So that was tremendously helpful for our team, I would say.
And Marie-Eve, I mean, how did you, maybe also coming from a nature-based background and I'm not sure how much pre-experience you had with the like business world, also working with architects. So what was it for you? Like,
I had like no experience at all with business and architecture, so everything was new. And also like the fun thing is that I also learned some stuff about biology like every day. And so I'm learning on every side of the project. I'm learning from architecture, from business, and from also biology. And so that's pretty cool. And like, I didn't know that we will be able to move so much faster when we have like different kind of people working all together. And like the progress has been huge and so grateful. I'm so grateful to be part of the team.
Thank you. And how do the architects feel about like Sumit or Harsh? Do you what was the biggest learning that you had probably also from the other disciplines? And what is like the story that you wanted, like did you feel the most to share with them coming from the architect perspective?
I think it was like a great opportunity for us also to like work with different disciplines, and especially even, you know, like small things like how they weave design, or you know, perspectives related to how people from business background, they perceive certain things. Like even designing a small business card was like, you know, we used to have this long huge discussion and debates about it. So the way they think, the way they see things and the way we work is very different. Like business, especially the business teams were always like super organized with what they wanted, with what they want to do, while architects are more like free souls and creative people who like to take time and you know, be in their own world. So sometimes there were clashes, and sometimes, but in a joyful, in a very playful way, you know? And that's what made it like, you know, the working style is also very diverse and fun to be with. So there has always been, you know, a give and take and an exchange of methods and strategies of learning and experimenting.
Thank you.
So
if you want to go next.
Yeah, so like Sumit said, I think architects, we just visualize, or we have a vision of certain things, you know, in a certain aspect. But working with like the different fields, you know, they widen this vision so much. Like you look at things from a different perspective, as in like how it would work in a business, or how it would help the plants grow, and you know, integrating all these things together has just brought us to where we are. And I'm really grateful. I don't think I would have seen such a wide perspective ever without this program.
Nice to hear. Sophia, anything that you would like to add, or maybe also some of the struggles that you faced? I mean, we heard this before. Everyone is talking about like, let's do this. Let's bring different disciplines together. That's actually what we need. But you're in it. I mean, you're doing it. You experience every single day. So it's for sure not just like everything shiny and happiness. It's also probably hard. Definitely not just probably. Definitely hard work and yeah, so maybe also want to share something on this.
Yeah, just summarizing everything, I think it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. It is wonderful because you've got amazing insights and you've got very specialized people that can do the job very nice and quickly, but at the same time you have to optimize all the processes. And coming from the business school where a lot of things are quite obvious, you realize that you actually have to explain those. And yeah, create the team dynamics that can actually create a very prosperous work. This is the biggest challenge. But once you get used to each other, once you realize the other disciplines, it gets easier, definitely. But at the beginning, it was quite a big shock. Yeah.
Talking about a big shock, maybe Patrick, you can answer me this question. Like, if you would like had a chance to go back to spring, or even like before that when we started working on it, what would the thing that you would tell, if there's one thing that you could tell your past Patrick to keep in mind when start working on this, what would it be?
Probably to hold on, it's worth it. Yeah, although it's like starting a startup and just getting on this journey takes a lot of energy, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of, yeah, but also joyful moments, and it's absolutely worth it with what you end up in, and just having an awesome team pursuing this whole project together. It's way more fun than just being, yeah, either alone in this whole thing, or no, just the combination of the different disciplines make it so magical somehow that you end up with stuff that you would never have on your own. And I think, yeah, hold on, it's definitely worth it.
Anyone else having like maybe another thing to tell past person, if you could go back, if you could change something, or or maybe even like, let's phrase this around. So what was the thing that maybe you also missed in the beginning? But like, because I remember it was really like, you just came together, you had 5 days, it was hard work all day long. I mean, you've been up all night, there was no time to explore Barcelona, you've been working on this constantly, steadily, putting all the heads together. So if you could have had like something else with like in this experience, what would it have been? Also in your studies also as well, like do you feel like also your studies prepared you well, like for real life, for interacting with different disciplines? Any thoughts on this?
I can definitely say that at the beginning, what I would recommend myself is to sit down with a team and align the goals. Because at the end of the day, yes, we all came to research sustainability and try to build a better solution that it is already on the market. But at the same time, business people came there to maybe be this cool CEO that we all see on LinkedIn, and architects, probably what I experienced, came there to build some really cool, attractive solutions. And nature students, they came there to actually do the research and understand more about their study field. So I think at the beginning it's very important to have a very clear, transparent communication between different team members to see where you're going and what you want to do.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to add to this, or? Lars is shaking. Chris.
Well, yeah, I can. For me, like the biggest learning was that I know far less about business than I thought I would have, and that everything that may have seemed so obvious beforehand in courses is like a totally different thing to actually make come to life and practice when actually working on that.
Yeah, nice. Hey, I mean, taking a look at the time, I mean, something that probably expected to come as a question, but what is your key takeaway, like from this whole program? What is the thing that is still with you, and it's like the biggest learning for your startup, maybe also for you personally? Okay, it doesn't seem like such an obvious question.
I think I can try to elaborate on that. I think for me it was, yeah, if you don't do that, or if you don't make a process, a good working process for what you want to achieve, nobody's going to do that. So as you are there on your own with your team, you really have to give your whole self, all your free time, because it is a lot of time, it is a lot of work, and it's not that bright and shiny as we probably mentioned before. So do it yourself, or nobody probably going to do it.
Thank you. Any other key takeaway? Patrick, yes.
Maybe just to add on to what Sophia just said, it's quite similar in this direction, but it's like if you want to do something and maybe found your own startup, you can read as much as you want, but at one point you just have to do it. You just have to start doing it, because if you don't start it, you're never going to get there. And it's like if you never start the 100-meter run, then you're never going to break the world record. It's just you have to go to the starting line and then start to walk, even though you probably don't know where you're going to end up. But it's just really to take the first step and go for it, because otherwise you're never going to start.
Thank you. Anyone else still, or?
Well, yeah, on a somewhat similar note, don't be afraid of telling people about your idea and speak, just go out, validate. And I think that's also something we had to do on the very first days in Barcelona, and going out with our tortilla made prototype of a clay brick and just showing it to people is something that we have kind of, well, not with a tortilla, but with the actual model, have done all the time since then. And it just helped tremendously to just get different insights, feedbacks, and also like network.
Linking us to what you just said, like going out and speaking to other people, coming back to your business ideas, and as they are tackling nature-based solutions. So what for you are the biggest obstacles that you face when promoting nature-based solutions? Or you feel actually no, it's actually quite a topic now and it's easy and people are really open-minded for it? So how what is your impression about the perception of nature-based solutions, working in the field, trying to sell your products and solutions?
I think for us, we realize that there is a lot of hype around nature-based solutions and sustainability, and everybody's trying to bring their 50 cents in the discussion. But what we also realize that at least the Viennese scene, where we are based right now in Austria, it's not quite ready for sustainable startups. And many people are quite uncomfortable talking about that. And that's probably the main obstacle, that we came quite early in the pipeline. And we had also to explore the scene to find really people who can help us.
Anyone else?
Yes. I partly agree with Sophia. I very much agree with the hype, and that climate tech, probably also due to the pandemic, has gained a lot of awareness. Actually, I think that Austria is very far advanced in this, so far advanced that we had to stop accepting like inquiries and stopped outreaching. So it was a very great experience for us, and it's just I guess the difficult part is to just match your business development with your product development and not expect too much too early on.
What kind of feelings did you have there, Aerosquare?
Just adding up to the two comments before, like we've been in several incubation programs as well, and with a lot of other sustainable startups who were just getting off the ground. Some in the ideation phase, some a little bit more far. But what I realized is that just the label sustainability doesn't sell the product. It has to has an advantage and has to compete with the other solution as well. It needs to be a real alternative, not just a sustainable version that is like 10 euros more expensive, or depending on the product. But like people and our customers and organizations are willing to pay a surplus for a natural or sustainable solution, but only if it can compete with the solutions that are already on the market. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Maybe coming back also once again to the other disciplines, as we heard quite a lot of them on the business perspective now, which is nice. But so if there's one, like the one, how to phrase this, give me a second, So coming once again to this holistic approach. So what is it that you feel, probably Marie-Eve, also working with nature-based solutions on like in your studies, being in your expertise? So do you feel we need to have more of it also in other disciplines, that it's more prominent and more communicated? Do you feel like we lack like the broader audience lacks understanding for the topic, or do you feel we need some kind of new approach also to communicate science, maybe because it's a very science-based topic, like probably coming from university?
Yeah, I agree. Like sometimes something can seem very, very technical when it can be explained in like very simple words. And I think sometimes people really have a hard time to grasp all the concept of sustainability, sorry. And it's all like a very simple concept, but it can seem scary to the average person, I think. So yeah, maybe we need to like communicate more on nature-based solution, and like, for example, nature-based solution isn't just planting trees, and it's very diverse, and you have a lot of possibilities with everything. Like it's so amazing, like all the broad of the possibilities that you can have with nature-based solution. And so yeah, it needs to be more like explained to the general public that yeah, it's not just like putting flowers on your window, and it's actually much more. It's such a bigger issue and a bigger, like a solution for all these issues.
And maybe just one last question also to Sumit and Harsh. For me, always architecture is a lot about, and not coming from the field, a lot about like also the appearance. Did you have the feeling also that you need to make like compromises on the way things are like designed and appearing in terms of functionality? Did you face some struggles there, or?
So far, not yet. Like we didn't really had to like compromise a lot when it came to design. For functionality, in fact, functionality is what like influenced the way we design. So because we were trying to achieve and like target certain things to like to solve certain problems. I think that's what eventually like became like the guidelines behind the designs and patterns we came up with. So there will be like, there have been few challenges so far, but on the paper. But once we start executing the projects, then the building bylaws and the construction bylaws from different regions and different countries will come into play. But so far as the product is concerned, we worked in a way that our design should cater to the problem. So we didn't really have to compromise on that. But once we start putting our product into the world, then different institutions will probably start, putting more challenges and more problems there. So that is something we are yet looking forward to tackle. But so far, everything has been more or less smooth.
Okay, thank you.
I think from our end, it was more of form follows function, as well as function follows form. Like there's been a back and forth constantly, just adapting from different environments to just creating the panel and modifications as time has passed. So I think it's been going all well and balanced, and I think that's the role like we play. Make sure we don't lose out on either of the two, and I think it's been good so far.
Thank you very much. Then, looking at the time, like one closing question to the teams of the three of you. So if you making this one wish or if you could change one thing being in business now and promoting your solutions, what would it be? Like, what are the things that are actually giving you the biggest struggles? And if you could change it, what would it be?
That's a very good question, actually. Oh, so sorry, Harsh, you go.
I think for me personally, I think it would have been, I wish we had got to start testing a little earlier on than rather sooner or later. I think that would have been one of the biggest struggles that we're facing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sophia, you wanted us to say something?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is being too shy and too insecure about yourself. What I would do better next time, just jump into it, talk with as many people, try to sell it as early possible, just try to do as much as you can, and don't be afraid of saying or hearing no, hearing that your product is not good enough. Just to be there and be open for feedback.
Okay. Then thanks a lot for being here. Thanks for all the questions. You can gladly share your contact details in the chat, and if people want to hear more about your story, more about your services and your products and your solutions. And as said, it has been an amazing journey with you, and I'm so proud and I'm so glad that you're still working on the solutions, and I can't wait to see whatever is happening in the next month and the next year, and to stay in this journey with you. And I wish you all the luck. And once again, thank you for being here. And I'm going to hand back to Daniela now, and we're going to continue the next session. So thanks a lot and all the best.